Today, we're talking about eye dominance for archery. If you're a beginner and you're not sure whether to start left or right-handed, I'll clear things up for you so you can make the best decision for yourself long term. First, let's dive into why eye dominance does matter for archery. Shooting with your dominant eye allows you to acquire the target more naturally and hopefully shoot without having to close that other eye or squint it at first. Shooting with both eyes open is going to reduce the chances of having eye strain. If you're cross-eye dominant, then this is the video for you. What is eye dominance? Eye dominance is essentially the eye that your brain lets naturally take over for vision. So there's three different types of eye dominance, and really, we only need to focus on one of those for the most part. So motor or sighting dominance is which eye your brain naturally lets take over when it's focusing in on something. And this is the main one that we need to know about for archery. Acuity dominance is basically how good your vision is from one eye to the other. And if there's similar vision, it doesn't really come into play for archery. But if you do have significantly better vision in one eye and it happens to be your non-dominant eye, maybe you should look at which eye to use based on your visual acuity. Usually your dominant eye is dominant in all three, but it's not uncommon to have one eye dominant in a couple and the other eye dominant in one. This is the information that I wish I knew when I started archery. I just bought a right-handed bow and just started shooting right-handed without looking at my visual dominance. I've always closed my left eye while shooting and shot with my right eye. And after shooting a couple years, I start to have eye strain issues. After doing a test, I realized that I am left eye dominant. So even though I could close my left eye while I'm shooting, through a long day of shooting or a long session, it would start to affect my right eye, even though my left eye is the one that's closed, and I would have trouble focusing and staying focused on the target. Let's check out these tests that you can do to figure out your eye dominance at home. So left eye versus right eye dominance in the population is about 60% right eye dominance, 30% left eye dominance. So the first method is the triangle method. Take your two hands, put them out, focus them on something. Make sure you're staring straight, and look at that object through the triangle in your hands. And basically close one eye, and if it moves off target, so that thing is covered by your hands, that is your non-dominant eye. Now if you do the other eye, and you close it, so I close my right eye, and that object is still in plain sight through the opening in my hands. So that means, because I close my right eye, it's still focused in there. That means my left eye is my dominant eye. Close my left eye, it moves from behind my right hand. So again, the eye that is open when the object is still centered is your dominant eye. When the eye that is open and the object slides to the left or the right, or it's entirely covered by your hand, that is your non-dominant eye. And that is the triangle method. One thing that is worth noting for this test is make sure you're facing straight on towards the opening in your hands and the object beyond it. And that's where the second test comes in that I started messing around with. My version of the test is you get into the corresponding movement. So this would be left hand shooting. Instead of looking straight on, I'm going to act like I'm pulling back. I'm going to put this out, and then I'm going to try to look through. Nose, imagine touching a string, and then right eye closed, right eye open, closed, open, trying to aim down the sight, focusing on the picture, right eye stance, full draw, turning my head, string, right eye, open, left eye open, both eyes, left eye closed. And that's why I think switching up your position like this and like this and doing the eye dominance test that way gives you a more specific test for archery. And utilizing this test to see what is more natural with both eyes open. Now that you know what your eye dominance is, we can dive into these four categories that everyone falls into. And these are based on your orientation of your eye dominance versus your hand dominance. And that is right eye dominant and right-handed, left eye dominant and left-handed. And then cross eye dominant, so right-handed and left eye, or left-handed and right eye. And the last two, if you're cross-eye dominant, you got to figure out if you want to follow your dominant hand or do you want to follow your dominant eye. Most people are the same eye dominance as their hand, but it's not uncommon to be cross-eye dominant. If you're right hand dominant and right eye dominant, this is super simple. You shoot right-handed. If you're left hand dominant and your left eye dominant, this is also super simple. You just shoot with your left hand. If you're right-handed and left eye dominant, you want to consider starting out left-handed. If you're left hand dominant but right eye, you want to consider starting out right-handed. If you're new to archery and your opposite eye is the dominant eye from your hand, I would say just make the jump. It's not that crazy of a movement compared to other sports. This is the time to start with your correct eye dominance instead of your hand dominance. Everything is going to be awkward right now, whether you're shooting with your opposite hand or your dominant hand. Plus, if you're using your main hand to stabilize, starting out, you're going to have stronger muscles, most likely, on your main arm to stabilize. So there is mixed eye dominance, which is one eye is not definitively dominant over the other. This could be tough because it could be hard to figure out which way feels more natural to you. Or it could be hard to even shoot with both eyes open at all. You're now new to archery, you figured out your eye dominance, you know your hand dominance, and you figured out, hey, I am cross-eye dominant. If you're thinking about shooting left-handed, there is a disadvantage that you should consider, and that is availability of archery equipment. There's less left-handed bows out there, and there's going to be less left-handed accessories on hand at archery shops. If you're thinking about shooting right-handed, on the flip side, you're going to have the advantages of more availability of bows and products in shops and less lead time when ordering. Also won't be as awkward when you're on the line with 30 people and you're left-handed and you're sitting there staring nose to nose with the person next to you. Switching eye dominance. This can be a very long process and it can be fickle and temporary. And it may not be permanent for you. It might be that you squint your dominant eye to acquire the target and get the fixation on your other eye, and then you can open it again once the target is acquired and then finish through your shot. But let's say you stop shooting for some time, you pick up shooting again, and it might be an uphill battle to get that non-dominant eye back to where it was. But I have heard of people doing this for archery and in general. If you're using your dominant eye, you're actually going to have quicker reactionary time. So if you're a command shooter, this might be a few milliseconds quicker to slap that trigger. Now, if you're not a complete beginner, if you've been shooting a while or your whole life and you're cross-eye dominant, I'm going to hit that topic in this next video. Hope you got some value from this, and we'll see you on the next.